job to go in the wall and hurl and stick in a shinty bowl, the brick, the brack, the crack, and all. Let's call it an Irish pub. Caffrey's on, Kilkenny, a pound, the Guinness, pint, the cabbage, crap, the I don't want to be paddy trapped. We'll call it an Irish pub. While I'll be fucked to swear.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Pubcast. My name is Brendan O'Neill, and I would normally be joined by Mike Cross and Michelle Riley. But in these first few episodes, we are revisiting our previous podcast, Boardwalk Breakdown. Basically, we're shutting down the Boardwalk Breakdown podcast and moving those 13 episodes over here so we can keep them alive and well in our archives. So, the Pubcast is our new podcast where we'll talk about all kinds of stuff and not be limited to only talking about Boardwalk Empire. And it will actually begin on episode 14. So just consider these first 13 episodes as bonus content. Sláinte. Welcome to the Boardwalk Breakdown podcast featuring Michelle Riley, Michael Cross, and me, Brendan O'Neill. Basically, we're fans of the HBO show Boardwalk Empire, providing some analysis and silly commentary. If you have any comments or questions, you can contact us on Twitter at Boardwalk Break. Enjoy the show. Going forward, looking to season 5, what do we expect? I'll give you my quick thought.
Please.
Having not read the source material, so I don't know how it's supposed to end. I don't know the end game for these historical characters. Short of maybe Capone, I know a little bit.
Well, we know what happens to him.
But I'm not sure how long this goes. Does this go to 1935 or something? I have no idea when it starts and ends. Anyway, I expect big things from Chalky White. I think he will make this whole season. I think he will be the guy. I think Narcisse gets it. I think Chalky's involved. I think Chalky and Nucky are standing side by side. I think he plays a huge role in this whole season. I think, again, without knowing the historical data, I would think that Eli takes a back seat. Either is killed or is dismissed by Nucky. Mm-hmm. Like Nucky becomes the monster. Although I think he also steps down or is forced out of power. He's sort of a behind-the-scenes character also.
All right. What else? What other predictions do you have?
I don't know where else to go with this one. It probably has to extend beyond the end of Prohibition. So I'm not sure where it goes. Does it follow up with like where
are they now?
What happens when Prohibition is lifted?
Boardwalk Empire.
I love the 80s
because the whole
they're gonna have a VH1 pan.
The whole all the money in this business is in alcohol being illegal. Once it becomes legal, that ends.
Right.
You gotta find a new source of income. Does it go beyond that? Does it go into Meyer Lansky, Lucky Luciano, and drugs or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah,
well, eventually it does. Right?
Does the series talk
the
about
series?
That?
Yeah.
So here's where I see it ending. I see it ending as Prohibition is closing out. Right as it's ending, I think it's got to end right there. It ends with Nucky having a moment on a terrace with a cigar and a glass of scotch or whiskey, and it's a fade to black kind of thing. I see Raging Al this year. I see Raging Al.
Yeah, it has to be.
They really have to because they've been setting up Al for 4 seasons.
Gotta be.
And they have not let him. They've let him cut loose at times, but they have not let him explode. So we're going to see him explode.
Oh, let me interject there. Can I say, while I like it, I like the way he's done it, I have a problem with Al Capone being a guy from England.
I love the
actor's
guy. I think
English.
The actor's
He's so
fantastic.
good, though.
I know, he's so good, but
I think the only one who's ever played...
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's not as big.
He's English.
But he wasn't a bigger guy.
But he wasn't. Yeah, he was Italian. But he was big. He wasn't tall.
Now, this may tie into my nerdiness.
He's much younger in this than he was when we were thinking of
That's true,
Untouchables.
But of the idea that... indulge me for half a second for being insane with this stuff, but in the movies, Superman is English, Batman is English, Spider-Man is English,
Oh, yeah.
Capone cannot be English.
Capone shouldn't be English. You're right.
Which one of these is not like the others? Capone is a bad guy.
I know.
True.
Well, Capone's a real guy too.
But I do see.
So Spider-Man, that's a real guy.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a real guy. I do see the Raging Al this year.
Yes.
And despite the fact that he is English, which I didn't know until just this moment, I'm going to give this guy a lot of props because he's doing a good job
very
of
good.
showing him turn into a volcano.
I can't complain about it.
In quick fashion, which I
like
love.
it.
I see the Willie Eli storyline kind of getting downplayed. I see Chalky having a big year. So I think this is going to be Al and Chalky with Nucky kind of working, he's there and he's obviously a catalyst in the show, so you're going to get a lot of Nucky. But I see him taking a backseat to the Al and Chalky kind of storyline that's going to come forward. At the end, Nucky wins, right? He's going to be whether he's in charge anymore or not, he's getting away with it, right?
All right.
So he's standing on the balcony with a cigar and his glass of scotch.
With that in mind, do we think we have seen the antagonist in season 5? Is it going to be Narcisse? Is there another new guy we haven't seen yet?
Other note,
like Jip, like Narcisse, like somebody.
My other note that I have is that Narcisse fades.
Yeah.
I think
that's right.
A shooting star, right? I mean,
is Capone that guy? Maybe.
I think Capone turns into the big catalyst this year.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Just based on the history, it has to be, right?
Right. I mean, they've got to have him be a big central character this year.
I agree with a lot of the things you said about the ending, Michael. I think you're right that it will end at Prohibition, and it will end with Nucky alone. I do not think, like Brendan said, that Chalky and Nucky will be shoulder to shoulder. Absolutely not.
I don't.
I want to see that. I want Chalky to play a big role.
He's going to play a big role.
I think he will play a role,
but they're not going to be together.
There's absolutely not going to be. And as for Eli, I believe that he's going to abandon Nucky one way or the other, whether it means he does it of his own volition or if Nucky orchestrates it that way. But the bottom line is, I do believe Nucky will be alone.
Yeah.
Agreed there.
In some sort of power play. And as for Capone, I don't think it's so much of an explosion or a volcano as I do think you're going to see him in a position of power. So he's finally going to take his place as a leader in this organization. You know, we all know that Capone was kookadoo, and he had a massive temper. So no matter how, far up the ladder he got in Chicago, he was always crazy. So that violent part of Capone is never going to stop. Yeah. But
he played like the friendly role to the press too. He was like a
he was a showman.
Yeah.
He considered himself the mayor.
Egomaniac.
Yeah, he considered himself the mayor of the city.
But I think you're going to see more of a maturity, I hope, with Capone, where he starts to take his place of power.
Well, and in this world, that kind of maturity leads to a lot of bad decisions or a lot of nasty decisions that need to be made. But he'll start becoming more of a thinking person as opposed to just a doing.
And I really would like to see what does happen with Jillian. I know she's going off to jail right now, but she can't. That can't be the end of her. And so I think there's going to be something going on with that.
I like that, and I would. You're right. They can't end it that way with her because she was too central a character for too long. Where they can just wash her.
Right. She's
in prison. There's got to be a backstory to that.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Nucky somehow orchestrates. There's going to be ongoing stuff with New York and Chicago in terms of the mob operations. And then the personal sides of it is going to be Chalky, Eli, Jillian, to an extent Richard.
Richard's
dead.
He's dead.
Oh, that's right, he's dead.
I gotta feel like
cut that.
I don't know the history off the top of my head, but I gotta feel like Rothstein is still a player in this.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
You know what I mean?
I think Capone
I think
and
he's gonna be
Rothstein
sneaky.
Maybe he's part of the L.
And they may even show how the Atlantic City thing goes into the New York thing. I don't even know to this day if that's true. I don't know there's New Jersey and New York.
I think what's great about this is that we don't have all the historical context to cloud what we're thinking or the way we feel like it's going to play out.
The details are not well-known details.
So what I'm saying is that by us not being intelligent about the situation, we're actually intelligent.
Right. We're showing objectivity.
It helps.
This is going to end on a personal note. This is going to be Nucky searching for his own redemption, which will be unrequited. And
You don't think it ends on like a federal note with J. Edgar Hoover in some way or some sort of
I don't see
bullshit
it.
bureaucratic the government
Are you
wins.
kidding, Brendan?
I'm
That is
asking,
not
I'm asking.
drama. That
The
is
bad
not,
guys always win.
Not
in
drama,
these
but it's an
worlds.
ending.
The bad guys always win. Though.
It's an ending, but I don't see
In
that
the
being
Scorsese
a
movies,
dynamic ending of this. I don't agree with that either. I do think that every move in this story has been about what people are willing to trade on their morality for, what people are willing to do to try and get right with God.
Yeah.
And what people or themselves, and what people are going to be able to withstand, and what they betray.
Who have we not touched in this description of what we think is going to happen next season? Margaret.
We haven't at all.
She's got to play a big role, right?
Yes, I believe she will.
I do think that the fact that none of us touched on it means that it doesn't matter that much.
I don't know.
I mean, I know we're not a collective or a representative
She's still
sample.
married to him, though, right? They're not divorced.
But is she the kind of person that if she didn't come back in season 5, would it really bother you that much
Yeah,
that you didn't
it
get
would.
Except for Nucky.
closure on it?
Nucky, of course, is the central character. Who is left from season 1?
Capone?
It's Nucky, it's Capone, it's Rothstein.
Yeah, but I think you got to take
It's-
them out of the equation.
It's
Chalky?
Margaret and Chalky, right?
I mean...
Throw in Mickey Doyle the cockroach.
Well, yeah, I mean... You can't,
Eli,
but,
all of them.
but,
But,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
a lot of them are secondary
she-
characters, right?
But she's the one who has played a major role in the series that none of us talked about.
She really has.
She's
could
gotta
really-
be there.
But
She's
she's
gotta be
got
there.
a lot of power, and I bet you at this point she's
gotta be
going to
there.
use it.
Yeah, you're right. And
Because
it could
she's
be...
been sitting on it for a long time, but I don't believe they are divorced. I think she's gone.
They're not divorced.
Does she take down Nucky?
Or does she
In
help
some way.
him
She
by
tries.
double crossing
Or help
with
him,
Rothstein?
right.
She
you
might
know?
try. I don't think she gets away
Or
with
does
it.
she make a play for herself?
I think Nucky...
That's what I probably...
I think in the end, Nucky gets away.
She's not a real character either. A real historical figure either.
No, she's not.
Jimmy and Margaret. Right. So she could do anything, effectively.
Yeah, but she can't change history.
No, but maybe she plays a role we don't see. That's interesting.
That'd be interesting.
All right, so we got the premiere is September 7th.
Can't wait. I
We'll all be
cannot
tuning
wait.
in.
Yes.
Tuning in.
We'll have to do a... what I think we should do, and you can edit this or not, is let's email each other some of the answers to these questions.
Yeah.
Like what we hope. No, we know what we hope. We kind of talked on what we expected. We didn't touch on cameos we'd like to see, and I want to think about that.
Yeah, I want to think about that too.
So, because I know there have been some, like, who's the big fat president? Taft?
Yeah.
He's been there. I don't know if Teddy Roosevelt had any role. I have to kind of look
But
back
like
on that.
Harding played a role
Harding,
in season 2,
Warren Harding,
whatever
yeah.
it is. Or individuals, like
Right.
actors.
That'd be good.
Who could be thrown in?
I'd love to
in
see Bobby
X
De Niro
role?
in a cameo.
Come on, he's got to, right?
Well, I mean, him and
Just for
Marty
the fun.
are... Yeah, I mean, they're like...
Just for the fun.
All right, let's wrap it.
All right. Sorry for the abrupt end of the show, but for the first few episodes where we recap each season, we recorded them all in one sitting and needed to break up the discussion into consumable, bite-sized pieces centered around each season. Thank you for listening to the Boardwalk Breakdown podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Boardwalk Break. Future episodes of this podcast will focus on a single episode of Boardwalk Empire.